Okay, the very first three varieties I'm going to be showing you is plants off the hot list from Danny. The very first one is the Dutsia Chardonnay Pearls, also known as Dutsia gracilis. This is a zone 5, the zone 8. It will get 20 inches to 36 inches in height, as well as 20 to 36 inches in width. This has tiny white flowers that you can see that's starting to show on the pictures on the right. We sell this in a 2-gallon. It prefers to be in well-drained soil, but it is adaptable. Blooms on old wood in early, late spring. Does better in the sun to park shade. We usually have these things covered in more of the shade as the season starts getting more hotter. Usually you get that with any kind of variety. It's got yellow foliage. You got to be careful about that because they tend to get some little sun scorch on it. So you always want to keep that in mind when you're planting this variety, or any variety this sort of when the foliage is yellow. It does recommend that you want to prune this immediately after it flowers, because if you don't do that, you prune it too early, you might get the buds, take off the buds for the next following year. This is a small Dutsia with the yellow-green leaves. The foliage adds some season-long color throughout the year. Great for landscape use and small enough to use in containers. Works well in mixed containers and perennial borders. And go to the next Dutsia picture, please. Now, this is the Dutsia gracilis Nico, also known as slender Dutsia. This is a zone 4 to zone 9. It would get 1 to 2 feet in height to 2 to 3 feet in width. This has a pure white flower to it. We grow this also in the 2-gallon. It tolerates the medium range like type of soil. Normally it would tolerate some clay soil. The good thing about this, the bloom time for this variety is in April through May. It is a variety that it recommends that you plant in the area that's in full sun. Outstanding, low-growing, woody perennial. It's a dwarf shrub. Once again, you want to prune this just after the buds or flowers are gone. So pruning this should be done right after the flower has faded. It is considered to be pest resistant and easy to grow. It's a good choice for landscape and also for borders and ground covers. As you can see to the picture to the left, how it is used for your borders in your landscape. Next picture, please. And the last of the nookies, the Dutsias off the Danny's hot list is the Dutsia's Yuki Cherry Blossom, also known as slender Dutsia. This is a variety. It's also zone 5 to zone 8. It will get 12 inches to 24 inches in height, as well as 12 to 24 inches in width. This has a beautiful, striking pink, bell-like flowers. It's sort of pink with some like white stripes in it. It prefers to be in well-drained soil. This is a variety also too that does best when it's planted in direct sun. The good thing about this is you get 2 great seasonal interests for this variety. In the spring, you will have the pink bells-like flowers, and the foliage is a nice, beautiful green. And as it grows into the fall, it will turn to this burgundy purple, as you can see to the last 2 pictures on the left. Great for mass planting because it is neat and it's mound habit. Excellent ground cover for slopes, and this variety is also considered to be deer resistant. Next picture, please. Okay, now this is the Hydrangea Pedalaris. I got that, and we have in the pictures up there on the top, you have the left is the 3-gallon, and the right is the 7-gallon. This variety will be moved. It's been moved to current, but I was told that your sales orders are going in. They have to wait till your process is done, and then Stephanie's gonna go ahead and move her varieties, certain varieties that was gonna move into current. This hydrangea, I was waiting for this one because we want to make sure to see how it handled over the winter. It did quite well. As you see the pictures to the left, that 3-gallon, we sell this at an 18-inch, starting 18-inch. That's what we sell it as. And as you can see right here, that 3-gallon is already at 24. It's good foliage. This variety is zone 4 to zone 8. It would get 30 to 50 feet. That's feet, people, in height, to well as 5 to 6 feet in width. As you can see the pictures on to the right, they're usually good as for climbers when you put them up against a brick housing or some type of brick border. This variety is a climbing hydrangea, can provide beautiful colors over a wide area. Now, these vines can climb freely, but will need some discipline, where basically sometimes you may need to train it to an area that you want to decline. But once it does, it gets established. You can see it does a very, very beautiful job. Let's see, it can be trimmed anytime after it flowers. It grows under light shade, and it's a beautiful, glossy, emerald green leaves. We usually have this right. It does well. We have it in the direct sun. It seems to do very well. Great thing also about this is you got the nice flowers that have it, and also you got this beautiful winter interest where you can see how the bark has a beautiful interest into it. So you got two good things going for this variety right here. And go ahead to the next picture, please. Now this is the hydrangea quercifolia Alice. This is another variety. It will be going into current, but it won't show up to your next Manager Weekly listing. This is also known as Alice Oakleaf hydrangea. This is a variety. It's zone 5 to zone 9. It has a beautiful white flower. We grow this in a 3-gallon. It prefers to be in well-drained soil. It is recommended water regularly when the top is 2 to 3 inches if the soil is dry. So you want to wash that during the really hot season. The bloom time for this variety is usually from June to July, and it's among the most largest of the oakleaf hydrangeas. Oakleaf-like leaves with a profusion of large white blooms. The foliage will turn a brilliant crimson in the fall. So you got 3 great interests in this. You have your flowers, you have this beautiful foliage of green during the springtime and the summer, and in the fall, I see a picture of this on the left, you have this beautiful burgundy interest with half to your yard. So you got 3 great interests for this variety right here. Like I said, that variety will be going into current. It should be showing that next week. Next picture, please. Now this is more of a newer variety we have. You already know about the petite rose, which is basically the miniature version of the knockout rose. What we got new for you this year is the rose knockout petite tree. This is variety also still is zone 5 to zone 9. This is size of this will get to 2 feet to 3 feet in height. It has a beautiful red flower. We sell this right here for this size. It's in the 2-gallon. It likes to be rich and well-drained soil. It does prefer, because this is a rose, you want to make sure you plant this in the direct sun. Perfect for patio containers. Will bloom in late spring all the way into the fall. It has non-fading flowers, and like I said, that's a miniature version of the knockout rose. Like I said, for this right here, we have 500 of these. We got these in S4, so they're in heated houses. So we should be able to have these ready during the
week for Mother's Day.
Week for Mother's Day. That's our projected goal for that. So, but like I said, now the heads on this, the head I have here, it measures around 6 inches. So you'll get a miniature version of what you see down there in that picture, the petite that's in the true 1-gallon pot. So, like I said, this is a new introduction. It's our new rose knockout petite tree. Next picture, please. Now, this variety, it's been out in nurseries and everything, but this is a new introduction for us. This is the first time we carry this variety. This is the Phlox Drummond's pink. It's also known as a creepy phlox or moss pink. This variety is a zone 3 to zone 9. It would go 4 to 6 inches in height to 18 to 24 inches in width. This is a beautiful, striking pink flower to it. It prefers to be in sandy soil to clay soil or average soil. Bloom time for this one varieties is usually during the early mid-spring. It likes to be planted in full sun. This is a stunning native moss pink cultivar that will dazzle you with this easy to mid-spring and it displays an extra large, deep pink flower. It is an excellent choice for ground cover. This variety is also considered to be deer and rabbit resistant. Very low maintenance, great for mass planting and in containers. Next picture, please.
One of the main reasons for picking this one up last fall was we were sold out of emerald pink, so this is one of the ones we came up with as one of the subs. This one in particular for emerald pink, so keep that in mind when you're selling these.
Now this is the Phlox Emerald Blue, also known as creepy phlox. This variety would get it goes well in the zone 2 to zone 9. It would get 6 inches in height to 24 inches in width. This is a profuse lavender blue with starry flowers. We got this in the 1 gallon / 19 centimeter. The picture you see up up there up on top, that's the 2 different sizes you might see these varieties come out in. The one on the right is our 19 centimeter. That's the variety we sell them as. We got some in for direct sales for you. Those are in more of a, it seemed like more of a 1 gallon / type version of 19 centimeter, but you may see this variety and some other flocks like this in 2 different types of pot sizes. It's the same plant, it's the same size we're selling at, the same item code. Just want you to be aware of that in case you get some flocks with different varieties and different styles of pots. Medium moist, well drained, alkaline, neutral soil. I can't say that twice. Deer resistant and is trouble free. Spreading needle-like foliage drapes lavender blue flowers over walls and around also stones and edges, or you could just use it as a simple ground cover. And the next and last picture. Now this flocks are usually varieties a lot of you may ask for during the beginning of the season. So what I did for this one, it just showed you an overall picture of all the other phloxes that we have out there. The one thing, if you keep scrolling up some more, a little bit more.
Upper.
I want to see the bottom. Okay, all right, this right here. The Phlox White Delight, we did have that variety around 2 years ago. We brought it back. It's another variety because usually we have, the only white we have is usually the Phlox Snowflakes. So what we did was we brought this White Delight in. So now you got 2 varieties of white. In case one is short, you can always substitute the other one. So, but like I said, right now, Phlox, we won't put these into current until you see them being can full. As you can see right now, they did have a light trim on them. So, but once these are ready, we'll put these in. But like I said, I wanted to show overall picture of all the other Phlox. And that's what I have.
We have seen some more azaleas getting booked, so that's great. Thanks, guys, for that. But, you know, we still have some availability. I do know that azaleas are, at least the hardy ones, are pretty short out there. So one you could pitch would be Gerard Crimson, 19 centimeter. You can see there how fantastic that plant looks. The growers did a great job with that crop this year. You can see, you know, that is a 19 centimeter pot, so like a 1 gallon pot. And it is very close to approaching like a 3 gallon size. So, but it's not overgrown. It's not going to be too hard to take care of. I will tell you they are loaded with buds. I walked through the azaleas yesterday. They look great. So I don't see any issues going forward. Just a reminder on all the azaleas that we're talking about, we do keep them protected all the way up and through Mother's Day. So we'll protect them from frost, only minimal heating. We don't want to push them, so we keep them in white plastic. And they do, in that environment, require a lot of water. So even though they're not really actively flushing, they're still transpiring and they're using a lot of water. So we wind up watering them about 3 times a week. So that's very important for anybody who gets that in early. Even though that plant looks dormant, you got to water it and you got to give it a lot of water. So next is Hino Crimson. So switch to that one. So there you go. Cheryl put a couple different photos in there. We do have availability on 1s and 3s on the Hino Crimson. You know, that's your red, and then go ahead and go to Hino White. That would be the white that we have available. You can see there it's a pure white, very clean. We're out of Cascade and Pleasant White, which are normally our whites, but we were able to get some of the Hino whites in. So give those a try. And then also Herbert would be the last one. That's going to be your purple that we have available. You know, Karen's we're sold through right now, but we still have availability on Herbert's. Although those are disappearing pretty quick. We were close to, well, we were over 1,000 of them just a few weeks ago. So they're booking out pretty fast. So might want to snap those up while you can. All right, Buxus Green Velvet. So this is a 2-gallon there. Right now we're booked out on the 3s. We do have a crop coming right on its heels. That should be ready sometime there towards late May, sometime in May, but we wanted to show you the 2s that we do have available. We got 1,500 of them. They're looking really good. They're not small by any stretch. In the past, we've kind of had to cheat into crops a little bit, but we really beefed up our numbers. And these are multiple cuttings in a pot, so they're nice and full. You can see there you're going to get a nice size in a 2-gallon, very comparable to a 3. Not quite as full as those 3s. Obviously, we're calling this a 10-inch. The 3s are definitely 12-inch plus. So it's a little bit of a difference, but I think that people would be very happy with it. So push that for an alternative. All right, Physocarpa Festivus Gold. So we are really booked out on Physocarpa. We still have Festivus Gold. Festivus Gold is the one we chose to go with. We were growing Tiny Wine Gold. We discontinued doing that one. We really like the Festivus Gold better. It just has cleaner foliage, looks a lot better. It keeps that gold color all year. That's why we changed. We really felt it was superior, and we felt we only really needed one gold. So that's what Festivus Gold is about. You know, it's the same as the other Physocarpa. You will get a flower, but it's more about the foliage. And Festivus Gold will tend to stay more compact, so it's not going to get too crazy like some of the old varieties of Physocarpa. So it's still going to have that shape like Little Devil or Tiny Wine. It's going to be more compact. But great plant. Physocarpa are extremely adaptable. They do require more water than most deciduous in that range. So I would not call them drought tolerant, but they do well, and they can do well in heavy soils, heavy clay soils. So where that can be a problem with some plants, Physocarpa will do very well. Okay, EAC, or Euonymus alatus compacta, burning bush. You can see here, we wanted to show you, we are starting to see these book. I'm really seeing still fairly short on the market again this year with burning bush. So there's not a lot of availability. Cheryl, I think are we out of 7? Are we out of 7s?
I think we're out of 7s.
Yeah, I think we're out of 7s. There will be another crop. That's also like an end of May type of event that we'll be able to move into that. But we do have these 3s available. You can see there now. Remember, this plant is going to flush real early. This plant is going to start to pop and break and grow before Mother's Day even. And it quickly pushes its growth out. So this 3-gallon literally will become a 24-inch overnight through that early part of May. So, you know, if somebody says they really got to have a burning bush that's a bigger size or something, you know, maybe you could drill down and ask, okay, when is your target window? When do you really need it? If you really need it for more May sales, I think a 3-gallon would do very well for them because they're going to pop on their lot. And as long as they water them, they're fairly easy to grow on the lot for that first flush. So, you know, that might be another way to get around the shortage on the 7 gallons or the bigger sizes. But, you know, we're meeting our spec there of 18-inch right now. Obviously, Cheryl will update you as they flush in the spring. And we have 1,700 available. So Magnolia Royal Star, we want to keep showing you this. This really is a plant that, especially in the 3-gallon, really needs to get sold now. That smaller size, that 3-gallon size, really isn't highly sought after much past spring. That's when we move more into the 7s and the 15s. The 3-gallon really seems to be more targeted to the garden center. And obviously they may want to take advantage of the bloom. So this is one that they need to land early. The nice thing about where we are, if you're going south, the ones down south are going to be bloomed out by the time ours start to bloom. So that's kind of nice for them. If you know, if you're up in this region here, you're good. You know, we try to hold these back as long as possible. We don't want them to bloom any earlier, but it is an early bloomer. It's definitely a June bloomer. You know, pure white. And you can see there's quite a lot of buds, flower buds on there starting to swell, and there'll be a few more pushing out there. And I think we got a great crop of those. I know that the 3 gallons are pretty much booked out on all the varieties. Looks like we came through really nice. I checked the viability on the buds. So, you know, basically what I do is I take a bud and I kind of cut it all up into pieces. And it looks nice and clean, good, clean green foliage. So you can tell if you're going to have a damaged bud by this time of year if you cut the bud. And you see a lot of browning or black streaking. That means you took some kind of damage, but looks like we're in real good shape and expecting a good bloom, and that will be happening before you know it. So, all right, Spirea double play doozy. We want to keep pushing this. This is a fantastic Spirea. You know, it does have a lot of demand out there for it. Very tough, very adaptable. Great rebloomer. Takes little maintenance. You know, I think Proven Winners really hit the ball out of the park on this one here. You know, we have 1,300 of them available. We're getting kind of short on Spirea. This was one that we really chased hard and did quite a few of these in production. I know candy corn is still very popular. There's still a lot of people looking for that. That is extremely short on the market. I will tell you that I secured every last liner I could find, beefing up our numbers, trying to get stuff online. There really is, we're really looking at sometime mid-June before we'd have anything ready in candy corn. So I know that's probably a question you guys are getting a lot on. But you know, we do have double play gold. I know that has some availability on it. And then we have the double play doozy here. So take advantage of those two. I think those two are great varieties to have. And you know, don't let the conversation die if somebody calls up and says they have to have candy corn. Maybe you could talk them to supplement a little bit with a couple other varieties till the next crops are ready. And last is Thuja whipcord. So, you know, this one's really an interesting plant. I think it's kind of like a specimen plant that's affordable for like the garden center, for the regular homeowner that doesn't want to spend a lot of money on something unusual. This kind of fits the bill. You know, it's reasonably priced. It's extremely unusual. It really gives a kind of a wow effect in the landscape or in a planter. You know, they can put it in large planters. You can go a lot of different ways. So this is a really neat plant maybe to talk about in a conversation when, you know, especially with the garden centers. We have 400 of these in a 2-gallon. You can see there, you know, we have great consistency. I know we have a lot of these sold too. This is what you're going to get, which is great. Much larger than what we've shipped in the past. This is really the type of product we've been wanting to send out. It's just, we kept going early into the crops. So we're finally there. We got real good numbers on it. And it's just it's a cool plant to lead off with. It is somewhat adaptable. It doesn't particularly like wet soils, but it will adapt in most areas that a gold mop would adapt into. So it's not too hard to grow. So, all right. So just a couple things. I communicated with Mark Matheson, and hopefully you guys got the information. Our first dig round up here will be on the 18th. So that's a Thursday coming up here in another week and a half or so. And our first truck loading will happen on the 22nd. So we're really looking to fill that first dig round. So make sure you're talking about that. That's our intention there. Obviously, barring any type of really weird weather event that would happen, which anything is possible. But conditions are improving out here. It's still too wet to dig, but we got a ways to go. Looks like we're into a little bit of a dry period. Get rid of the rest of that snow and frost out of the ground. Start getting things dried up a little bit so we get the right consistency on the dig. If you dig too early, which I know some people do, you wind up getting a mush ball. The thing just falls apart. So we have to have the right moisture content, structure. You can never dig, I know some people would do it, but if you dig a plant while there's still a little frost in the ground, you can imagine that frost has expanded the soil profile. Once the frost comes out of that ball, it loosens up and it just falls apart. So there's some definite key things we need to watch when we're digging, but all indications are with long-term forecasts that we're going to be right at the optimal conditions by the 18th. So, right, I guess that's what I got. Any questions?